I forget my tissues. I don't have. Okay. Oh no, it was here all along. I was just being a baby. I don't have object permanence, and I forgot that my tissue is right beside me. Ooh, plot. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the refresh step where you recover yourself for the main step. I'm your host for today, tomorrow, and the foreseeable future, Theodore Lu. And I'm with hottest battler in the UK and admin of the Palisper's English wiki, Ayumu Seiki.
Man, next time you gotta give a sign when you start.
Yeah.
I'm still crunching on my cereal right now. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's fine. This is our first episode. It's okay if we mess up a little bit.
That's not how it works, Theo.
Yeah. That is how it works. We clip form all the way. Yay. No, just kidding. So yeah. Welcome to the first episode of the second season of Refresh Step. Certainly it wasn't a very smooth start. I already forgot my intro. I just recovered from a pretty bad cold, and Ayumu is choking on the cereal. Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, he almost died. So yeah.
Now I'm just gonna down this double shot Starbucks espresso.
Oh no! If only I can drink coffee. Well,
sucks to be you.
No, right? Probably like medical, it's fine. It's just that I wanted to rest so that I can recover quickly. So I, out of necessity, I can't really drink coffee right now. I just want to drink coffee, man. I just like the taste of coffee. Definitely not addicted. I can stop anytime.
Just don't become Kaela.
Nah, not yet. I wish at least if my insomnia nights can be productive, that will have been very nice. Unfortunately, if I have insomnia, I just have insomnia, and I just lay down on the bed questioning all of my life choices, and I could have used that time to at least like sort my collection or something, which will probably take forever. I have a separate album for like my BSS like cards that like is pretty major to my career, but like I think I only have built like the first 2 pages or something. Let's see. Let's take a little pic. Turning off my keyboard so it doesn't stop the recording by mistake. Well, even better. The first page is empty.
Okay.
Second page is just second page and third page are just like the extra version of like the last tournament. What was it again? The Summoners Calling, or I already forgot the tournament name. But that's the one where I actually got my first place in something that's actually major, so I have to keep that in. That one I have the sign Callista. What was it from again? I think it's from one of the like the online big tournament. And I think like if I get the top 4, I can get the Callista. Yeah. And I have the world's strong draw and the world's dream bomb and the world's mandala. The world's Genbu is of course still inside my deck because I got it from Ayumu, so it's in a more important place. Yay. Yeah. And then the third page is just my angel collection. So it's Michaela, Clavis, and I'm still missing the SPR Key of Intrusion actually. And then I have 4 copies of the Whiteout of the alternate art version for Whiteout with Makina on it. And then yeah. And then I think this one is supposed to be from a brick. I don't know why there's only like 3 green cards on it. Maybe they only have 3 in it. And then I have like the Store Tournament promo, so which is like the alternate art version, it's from the Sword Championship. So should have almost everyone. I think I'm only missing I'm still missing the Nirvana. And maybe the Evangelion ones. And then I have my judge promos. And then the rest are just supposed to be like SPRs. And I think I have one. I guess this page will eventually just become my ace cards, because I now have my Mock Genbu and the normal Mock Genbu and the SPR Mock Genbu. Yep. So that's my collection binder that is still not finished. But we'll get there eventually. But speaking of BS as a new beginning, since although we've immediately continued, this is technically the first episode of the second season, so what better theme to go with to start the new season if not how to start playing Battle Spirits if you're not in Asia. Wait, why's my presentation not working? Slideshow. Start from first slide. Okay, finally. Finally. I thought it's just not working because it clashes with OBS or something. But so this is how to start playing Battle Spirits if you are not in Asia. Pretty much. And then now I'm locked out of my OBS, so I cannot confirm if you guys can see it. So if you guys can't see it, then let me know. I'm going to share the PDF in the in the comments. But it's just a simple slideshow, just as a visual guide to kind of help you guys know what we are talking about. This is just some school assignment level of slideshow, by the way. Don't expect too much out of the slideshow itself, I mean. But of course, we are playing a trading card game, so the first thing that is most important if you want to start playing card games is getting the cards itself. Of course, you can do some other stuff as well, but preferably if you want to get the cards, there are some ways you can get them. First is, of course, you can get stuff from online single shops from Southeast Asia. So of course now I don't really find any other active shops at the moment, but of course we have been working with Cardboard Collectible a lot, so that them I can definitely vouch, especially since if you buy a lot, then you can get free shipping as well, so that's not a bad deal. Although now it's a little bit complicated, so especially if you're in the US, the complicated part is now shipping is going to be a problem. So you probably have to buy a lot and then use the more expensive shipping options. So some of this so all of the suggestions that we give you will be from our perspective living in Europe. If you guys have if you guys have any updated information on how you get cards in the US, please do drop them in the comments below. So
but I think besides Cardboard Collectibles, there isn't really any other sources in Southeast Asia, is there?
Unfortunately.
At least internationally,
most of the other ones sells locally. That will be the challenge. But that's one of if you want singles, if you want everything in English, everything that can accept international cards easily, Cardboard Collectible will be the first choice there. And then if you want if you want to buy the sealed products, one of my premier place to get them is of course Amazon. Unfortunately, Amazon Japan. Yeah, Amazon Japan is unfortunately probably the easiest way you can get like the sale products for Pale Spirits. If you buy them like near like now it's sometimes a little bit hard because now Pale Spirit is giving like printing more chase cards. Like the stock can be a little bit hard to get if you basically like try to buy them like after the pre-order window. So, but like during the pre-order window, usually this shipping can be a little bit more expensive. That's the only part that I don't really fancy. But like I guess now you kind of have to try to get them before the pre-order window. If you don't get them by the pre-order window, then you just have to wish that another store might be dropping their stocks through Amazon's after that. But like out of like if you just wanted to browse and then like drop it to your cart and then like forget about it, then I suppose like Amazon is going to be your easiest solution because you only open one site. Your international cards also works there, and they would like at least tell you in advance like how much you will need to pay for like customs and everything. So like you don't need to worry about okay, so now I have to set aside this amount of money to pay for the taxes and everything. You just click one button, it will reach you within like 3 days or something. Like it is like scarily fast. Like after they say that they are going to ship it to you, it's going to be like for me in Germany, it's going to be there like in 3 days. So yeah, not a bad service, unfortunately. Something that you can kind of like rely on if you wanted to get your newest stuff. Of course, older stuff. They don't really have that much, but they do have some older stuff that are quite nice. Sometimes of like if you just wanted to how do I put this? Just want to crack the packs just for the sake of cracking packs. Sometimes like there are unpopular sets or like overprinted sets that might be a little bit cheaper. Like I used to buy like lots of the PS53, which there are like not that much hit cards in that set, but it was like $20 shipped to my door. So like I just bought them for my nephew's Christmas present because why not? I guess. But yeah, of course, if you wanted something that is a little bit more substantial, then yeah, naturally like their solution is going to be the Japanese online shops such as Yuyute, Big Web is another big one.
Mercury.
And then Mercury if you wanted to go to the marketplace. But of course you are not in Japan. Yeah, Full Ahead is also a good one.
Yeah,
there's
it's usually Full Ahead and UUT if you want kind of like official online shops, but it's most of the time it's not exact. You know, it's kind of alright, but like a lot of times, like some of my friends didn't want to go through the pain of like looking for every single card, especially a lot of them can't actually read Japanese. They just go onto Mercury and try to find like a full deck being sold. Yeah. And speaking of that, friend, I was trying to get Takeru today.
Nice.
And then realized that no one's selling the Takeru deck, so I might have to collect every singles.
No. But yeah, of course, like with Mercury, it's a marketplace, so do always do your due diligence. Don't fall for anything that sounds too good to be true.
Yeah. It's essentially Japanese eBay, so just be wary of it.
Exactly. And then there are lots of like shops for Bell Spirits actually. So like Patosuki is another one. They all have their own deals. So like just if you want, just you can compare through a lot of them. But like realistically, if you are using proxy, like you will probably benefit from like not buying from too many stores. But also like at this point, like if you want to make a big purchase, I guess yeah, just do your own calculations. Like it just depends on how much time you want to spend on the spreadsheet, I guess. But yeah, generally speaking, I would probably just stick to one store that have like more of the stock of the cards that I needed. This is also like the one thing that probably cardboard collectible will be disadvantaged in, because of course the population and the card population in Southeast Asia will be way less than in Japan. So like that is one area where they will be winning. Also, they will have like the old cards as well. That's another factor. You can get like, if you have like if you find any spicy attack, you can try to find them easier in Japan. Although now the Mercury is also plagued with the with the problem of like the larger games, in which if any cards gain any traction, they will just raise in price like instantly. So yeah, you can grab anything while they are still while they're still goodly priced. Just get them. And then last one, it's just simply ask a friend who goes to Japan or Hong Kong. So basically, Hong Kong doesn't really have a big like online presence for like the shops, but like their physical stores, it's basically like 1-to-1 to Japan pretty much. Hong Kong is the second largest Bellspares community in the world, I will say.
Well, it used to be. I'm not sure about now. I'm probably still is, to be fair. I can't really think of any other places that's more popular than Hong Kong in terms of battle spirits.
Yeah. Probably like Malaysia will be the emerging market, I suppose, but like
not really, because I heard in Malaysians they kind of struggle to find some cards as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, obviously, like if your friends are going to Malaysia or like Singapore, you can probably ask them as well.
But yeah,
or even Indonesia. But like,
yeah,
obviously the good thing about well, I mean, not really. Well, Singapore's smaller than Hong Kong, so Singapore has that advantage as well. Where like if you find a source, your friend can just easily go there. It's the same with Hong Kong, and what's even better for Hong Kong is like most card shops are gathered in one single shopping mall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like, it's really easy like to just like pick and choose where you want to buy your cards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
But
went
unfortunately, recently a lot of the shops are also starting to drop battle spirits, especially the more prominent ones.
No.
So you really have to find like a good one with like a decent price, because obviously, some people can be really scummy, and then they know that like they had the stock, so they would deliberately raise the price because they know you can't find it elsewhere.
No. That's kind of sad though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like even like store wise, I think like Hong Kong is probably still your better bet, especially since Malaysia probably, like I mean, like I was just talking about like by player wise, right? So I think like Hong Kong will probably still have more, like overall. But like probably like the closest one to like match Hong Kong and players is probably going to be Malaysia, or maybe Thailand. We never know, because like Thailand at some point does have their own Battle Spirits version.
True.
Yeah. So yeah. But like Malaysia also, like the other thing is Malaysia can be really big. It's also like if you don't have any car, so like Malaysia, Indonesia, if you don't have any car, you can't really like travel between stores. Although the positive thing, if you go to Indonesia, I guess that if you go to the major cities, we basically have like 1 to 2 card stores. So I guess you can visit everything within like one day if you really want to. But yeah, one day we'll have like the 1,000 store movement. No, just kidding. That the 1,000 store movement is not actually a good thing. You know, but like I don't know if this meme is like internationally known, but like basically in Indonesia we used to have this meme of like called like the 1,000 store movement. Because like basically if you are a store then you can basically buy your stuff at like a cheaper price, right? Because you need to stock them for store and then you basically you buy in bulk. But like some players, of course, they buy in bulk anyway because they wanted to complete their collections and whatnot. And there are also backpack sellers that doesn't really have a physical store, but they have like means to sell it, so they don't need to have like a physical store where people play, but they have the stock. So that's pretty much like the Wanda, like that's what they like my friend say it as the 1,000 store movement. Yay, let's all be sellers. I'm just kidding. Don't.
Yeah.
don't do that. So, of course, then if you already get your cards, it's all in Japanese. So, of course, you can read the translations and probably kind of like get them into your like remember them and then try not to forget or bring your translations. That's another good thing. Some people, even though they have like the original card, they do like cutouts. So basically, they print out the effects and then they put it inside the sleeves with the cards. That's another thing that you can do. We do have like an online client called Vassal. Well, it's a Vassal-based online client. I think Vassal is a separate application. It's just we built on it.
Yeah.
And then basically, you can print proxies out of the resources, and then you can put it as an insert and use it until you kind of like remember what the cards do, and then you can just take it out and then enjoy the cards in its full beauty. Yeah.
Yeah, some people like to buy the real cards and just cut out only the effects. I think like they print out the translated versions and cut out only the effects. Just like slip it in.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually a pretty good idea.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it feels more natural than just having like a white text box that has like all the effects. Like, yeah, it's not suddenly just white. It's like the color is like blending with the cards at least. But there. But what if you wanted to read the card itself? Do you have to learn Japanese? Kinda yes and no. Because in the end, if you know enough Japanese, you'll read the Battle Spirits card and you will say, it doesn't make sense. Because as with all specialized language, they do have like the terminologies that make them work differently than the language that they came from. So here are some tips on how to read your cards. So first of all, of course you can refer to the English wiki. They have a terminology page where they kind of like explains on what terminologies that are specific to the game. It was maintained by Ayumu, I think. So like you probably can also explain like what are things that they can find in this page particularly. While I discharge my nose.
Yeah, what? Yeah, well, what? I'm so confused right now.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, bottom line, just read the terminology page, and Ayumu will be there if you don't understand anything.
We also have a comprehensive rule page.
Yeah.
For the deeper understanding of the game.
Exactly.
Don't worry, you won't actually understand anything. You simply memorize them.
Exactly. Understanding started with memorizing, so it is a little bit silly now that when I grew up, I used to really hate memorizing, but like now that I grew up, like yeah, and like everything shouldn't be all memorizing, but like everything starts with memorizing, so like it does help to some extent. So yeah, and then of course, you do need to learn Japanese, but not to the extent of like actually like able to speak the language. Of course, if you want to, so basically the most important one is to learn the basic Japanese alphabets, those hiragana and katakana, and also the basic grammar. But beyond that, if you wanted to learn, now that you have learned like all the basics, I guess like why not? But like, just reading this will probably not get you anywhere near being able to communicate, so you need to cover a lot after that. But yeah, I mean, like learning a new language is going to be rewarding either way. Like I guess if you already like spend the time to learn all this, like why not go a little bit further? Because of course, if you play with other players that doesn't speak English, might be a good second language that can bridge you and the other players as well. And also, why is this enough then to read the Pale Spirit cards? Is because if you can read hiragana and katakana, almost all the kanji that is relevant to be able to read the cards have the reading on top of the kanji. You can kind of like so you can kind of like tell like what those kanji is supposed to sound like. And then of course like the only weakness of Japanese is that the kanji is there to kind of like specify a meaning out of like because like some sounds, some of the hiragana and katakana, when they are used as to represent a word, like some of the combinations can mean like the same thing, but like, so for example, like the word kami can mean either paper or hair. So if you want to, you can read it from the context, but also you can use a kanji to kind of represent which one of these two that you are trying to say in this context. Because like there are some contexts in which like, okay, so it can mean either one, which is like to cut your kami. Like paper and hair are both things that you can cut, right? So like that's why you can use kanji to kind of like further specify which one you want it to mean. But like, of course, in card games, the context can be pretty limited. So as long as you can read the sounds, then you are pretty much you can pretty much infer what is the meaning. So of course, like the last thing is just to use pattern recognition. So basically, if you like, they will mostly use like the same words over and over and over and over and over again. That's pretty much how I started, from like learning like very basic Japanese, and then I started with Vanguard, right? So like, because of course like Vanguard, Vanguard has both Japanese and English version, but like the English was like it lacked for like a year or something. So like, of course, like me and my friends was like, yeah, why do we play with like this baby stuff? Like, let's play with like the newest like flashy stuff, right? That's why we play the Japanese version mostly. But like, yeah, at first I was like just looking at the card, and then I kept on like looking at like the same words like being repeated over and over and over again, and then I just built the pattern recognition inside my head. So I just read this, and then like, okay, so usually it just means like, okay, so this means if I attack with my Vanguard, I pay this cost, and then I do something. So like usually this will be repeated over and over again. Of course, with some extras, it can be very tricky because they can do like 25 different things, or just like it sounds like it's just doing two things, but like those two things has like three branches that it came with. It can get a little bit tricky, but yeah, it's for most of your cards, it's just going to be like you pay the cost. You pay this this card. This effect can only be used once. This effect, you do this effect when you do this, and then you do this. Yeah, you pay the cost. You do this. Yeah, so just do that, and you should be able to use all your cards without worry. Yay.
Well, yes and no. Like in Battle Spirits, like pattern recognition can only get you so far. Because, well, unless you actually remember a lot of them, because, Battle Spirits is one of those games where, like, how they structure the sentence affects the gameplay. So you gotta recognize the specific structure as well. And, go with the rules and stuff like that. But, obviously, if somehow you're really dedicated to just learn pattern recognition and somehow not trying to learn the language, then the terminology page again is going to help you with that, and the comprehensive rules as well.
Exactly. In the end, it's just a start. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just a start. Like, if you really want to play the game well, you kind of have to learn the language.
Yeah. But it's also like two-way thing, because like you learn Japanese but you don't read the rules, like it doesn't mean anything. Because like one of my always favorite example is the Kotode, which is a set effect in Battle Spirits, which is, I think, it's also a pretty unique use of the sentence structure. Because like I don't think like other card games, like even they use Kotode, they don't really use it the way Battle Spirits does. Because Kotode is I think we do have a video for that as well. So like Kotode, the thing about that effect is it is a conditional effect. But like with other card games, usually conditional just means if you do A, you do B. Battle Spirits have that as well. If you do A, you do B. But what you do with Kotode is basically if you do A, you do B. But if you cannot do B, you cannot do A. So you have to, everything in this effect has to be able to resolve in order for any of the effects to resolve.
Yeah.
Yep. In which, like, if you just read it grammatically and if you try to transliterate it, it just doesn't make sense. I tried to ask because I once for fun I tried to translate the cards into German, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried to ask my German friend of like, so basically there's this kind of pattern. Like, how do is there any other like conditionals that I can use to kind of like implicate this? And then they just froze. They were like, wait, what do you mean? That's not how that's not how language works. Like
yeah. That's just part of the game rules. It's more like, one thing you're mistaken is that like you thought like it was the grammar which led to the specific game rules, but it's the other way around. They use the grammar, they use the specific patterns in the language to implement the game rules. So the sentence itself never means how it works in Battle Spirits. It's just that they use that structure to link with the rulings that they have. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why. One day I'll when my friend finally finishes freezing, then I'll probably try to explain that to them again. I haven't met them for so long. they will probably still be the same because they got frozen. Lucky them. I've grown so old since then. Yeah. And then finally, is how to get your resources. So basically, now that you have your cards, and then like optionally, if you wanted to, you either get your translations or you learn to read the cards. So basically now you have a somewhat like enough mastery of your cards. Like what do you want, what you can do if you want to go further. First is, of course, you can subscribe to Time Gaming when we finally healthy enough to be able to post more than one video a month or so every 3 months. But yeah. But of course, like first of all, like the thing that we already mentioned, but of course it's really important. We have to mention it twice. We do have like the Battle Spirits Wiki if you want the English translations. So to refer to them when you top anything. So of course you have terminology page, but if you want to search for your, I scroll too far away. But yeah, basically if you wanted to search your card and you can't read the card name, what you can do is you look at the bottom right of your card. There should be a code that goes into by the convention of like PS something and then the number. So you can just take the PS something, which is the set number. So for example, I have of course my favorite card of the year, the set sphere. The code is PS54076. So basically, the simplest way, the most manual way, the most monkey way is you just search for PS54. And you go to the PS54 page, and then you scroll down until you find number 76.
Yep.
So that's the simplest way. Of course, you can also search in Google with the specific card number. That the only tricky thing is that once standard starts, they for some reason like make a very fuck up like set numbers for like the standard sets, which is 2025 RPS something, which is
it's like what is it, 25 or 26?
Yeah, 2026, yeah.
It's like 26 BS no, it's like BSRS 20. No, I don't know. It's 26 BSRS or something like that.
Yeah, 26 RBS01. Oh my god. I am fucking glad that the eternal booster is just like PS76, like continuing like the previous set number. But like, yeah, they could have just do like maybe put like kind of like do like a Pokemon thing and maybe do like kind of like a, how do I put this? Kind of like a block marker, kind of like maybe PSA01 or something. Cause like they will need to rotate it every 26 years anyway, so like we can figure out by then, I guess. Like yeah, this one is like kind of like a little bit. This one is like, I know that it is only supposed to refer to the product, but like also like in daily life, right? Like we don't really refer set names by their actual set names. Like, do you really like? I think like when you refer to set names with their set names, I think you kind of like conditioned to do so, right? But like if you have like a code name, I guess like people just do the code names, right? Like nobody like says like the set names for Vanguard is like Awakening of Twin Blades. They only say it like PT05. Nobody said like the PS set as like Returner. It's PS52. Like yeah. Like now you are you are put in a crossroad on whether you want to call it a Pulse of Genesis or a 26 RPS01. Yeah, I think at that point I'll just use the set name. I'll just use Pulse of Genesis. That's way easier. I think I don't know if that's what they want, because like, yeah, I think like the only games where you pretty much like identify sets with their set names are games where you don't really have like a set code, kind of like Pokemon MTG. You don't really say it's a MTG zero something. It's always like Lorwyn, it's Ravnica. You kind of, that's like the only way you can kind of like identify the sets. Although for like an outsider like me, it's kind of like becoming a little bit harder to kind of like identify, because like some of them is basically the plain name and then like the actual name of the set kind of thing. Like you don't know like which Ravnica is actually good, because there are several Ravnica sets kind of thing. And then like with Pokemon it's also like kind of like Mega Dream, Tag Team, Journey Together. Yeah, I don't know which one is X, Y, which one is Sun and Moon. You kind of just vibe it.
Yeah. The coding in Pokemon. Oh my god, it pisses me off so much.
Oh yeah, I actually have codes, but like their codes also like a little bit too long. I don't really care about the code sets at that point.
No, it's not too long. It's the fact that it's, how do I say it? It's like it's the fact that like everything sounds so similar, because like the way Pokemon do their codes, which I actually realized like a few weeks before, it's like they used, so like especially in English. So Japanese is actually really easy to understand, because Japanese they literally just goes like, oh, this is the 11 sets of black and white, and stuff like that. But like in English, like somehow they have to follow the English names of the set instead of going in numbers. There are no numbers. And then also, so like the pattern that I noticed is that recently at the Freddy's, they like to use 2 words to name the set. So so for example, Paradox Rift, I don't know, Black Bolt and White Flare, and Mega Revolution and stuff like that. And then like the way they do it is that they would take out the 3 letters from either the first 3 letters of one of the words, or a combination of like 2 letters from the first word and 1 letter from like the second word, stuff like that, depending on like if the chosen pattern has already been used in like a previous set. So then you got like, I can't remember, you got PAF, which is Paldean Fate, and then you have PAL, which is, I can't remember, Paldean something, and then actually let me try to remember what is PAL. Yeah, oh my god, PAL is Paldean Evolved, and then you got PAR, which is Paradox Rift. It's like, oh my god, why can't you just name them a number? What is PAF, PAR, and PAL, whatever? It's like, oh my god, stop it. Oh my god, I hate it so much. Yeah, and then somehow you got like, but like sometimes they break the pattern as well. So you have Black Bolt, which is simply BLK, for black, instead of like BLB or BBO or something like that. And you got White Flare, which is WHT for white, instead of like WHI or like WHF or something. It's like, I was like,
yeah, it do be like that. But yeah, back to the other resources that you can get. Of course, if you wanted to get, if you need help with finding the list of the deck that you want to make, the premier place to find them is Twitter and YouTube. So if you cannot write anything in Japanese, the one word that you need to be able to write in Japanese is this 4-letter word, which is patosupi, which is the basically like the Japanese shorthand for battle spirits.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is the most important important phrase that you need to learn, and then just sort from newest and hope for the best. Of course, if you can, if you go a little bit further, you can. If you want to go a little bit further, you can just search for the card name in Japanese in the wiki, and then you just use patosupi, and then you do a space, and then you put like the card name afterwards, so that it can hopefully like narrow down your search result.
That's not how it works for you.
Yeah. I mean, like that's how I do it.
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
Okay.
It's no.
Okay.
But like, first of all,
Mm-mm.
like most tweets, especially because they have to save space,
Mm-mm.
they would not put in the full name of a card.
Ah, yeah, not the full card, of course.
No.
Yeah.
Well, then you have to specify, bro.
Yeah.
And then like second of all is that especially if you're looking for deck list,
Mm-mm.
you know, you had to put in the name of the deck,
Mm-mm.
which usually goes with two things.
Mm-mm.
Well, 2 to 3.
Mm-mm.
So if it's like a family-centric deck,
Mm-mm.
then you would just search for the Japanese name of the family.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so, you know, if you want to look for an Ice Princess deck, then you can search for Hyoki,
Mm-mm.
you know, along with Battle Speed.
Yeah.
And then you can find it. Again, family names in kanji would be found on the English wiki.
Mm-mm.
Or if you somehow remember a card that, you know, affects the Ice Princess family, you can also just copy and paste from the Japanese text if you manage to find it. But if you can manage to recognize the kanji, then you probably don't really need the advice right now anyway.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, the second one is if it's like a contract deck,
Mm-mm.
then sometimes it will follow the name of the contract card instead.
Mm-mm.
Like for example, if you want to find the newest Strike One Leo deck from BSC 50, you have to search for Balone because, you know, it's Balone's deck. Don't ask me how to search for Bashindan. I don't know either.
Yep. That's the question of the century.
Yeah, like, yeah, now that I mentioned, like, I don't know. It's like, so like, Bashindan is actually an interesting one.
Mm-mm.
It like a lot of times you do have to get into the community and see like how they call the decks.
Mm-mm.
I mean, when you're confused, you know, join a community, ask the people. Most of them would probably know or at least have a good guess.
Mm-mm.
For now that I think about it, I would say probably it's usually separated into Bashindan's decks are separated into 3 categories right now. So either you got Galatian, Kodo. Unfortunately, if you want to decipher into like the old Galatian or new Galatian, good luck.
Yes.
And then you have Gekiha, well, which is Gekiha because we don't have a good translation for that.
Yep.
And then we have the recent one, which I believe people would just call it Taio, which means the sun.
Yes.
Because it's the Apollo deck. Yeah, so like as you can see, you know, you gotta still know like the deck names and stuff like that. But like, yeah.
Yep.
Like before looking for that list blindlessly, maybe just join a community and ask for help from there first.
Yep. Although, yeah, like the only sad thing that you need to, the only hard pill to swallow is if you have like very specific thing in mind, it might be harder to find them. As in like, because like of course like now it's way easier if you want to find like stuff from like the newer sets, because like there's always everyone trying to build for it. But like if you try to build kind of like, okay, so if you want just to have like a collection deck, for example, and you want Yukimura's deck from like the Burning Soul era, like the original one, not the Rekka one. And yeah, probably you have to either look a little bit down further, or you kind of just have to tinker with it yourself. Or you can always just play Rekka.
Wow.
Yeah.
True.
So of course, since we are in the topic of a community, so if you wanted to play, if you wanted to find someone to play with, of course you can go to Discord. As we have mentioned, Ayumu server, Bellspirits Reiwa is very active, so especially if you want someone to talk to. You wanted to ask like, okay, so I wanted to find this deck list, like which keyword that I can use, then yeah, you can go there. And yeah, Ayum will probably kick me if I don't promote my own server. But yeah, it's the link is in the description as always. But yeah, it is mostly for people who wants to play Battle Spirits, but we are pretty much PC people with like very limited free time, so we usually just gather once a month kind of thing. Kind of like in a way it's kind of like if you wanted a more like younger crowd that is more spirited, then you can go to Reiwa. If you want to meet fellow like tired old people like me, then yeah, tired old people who is like, yeah, this you players, they have it all good back in my days. Then they can go to the battle club, I guess. And yeah, we do have a leak going on at the moment, so I guess that's another thing.
Grandpa, it's time for you to go to sleep. No more deck building.
Yeah, that's why I kinda need to go back to sleep because I'm actually sick at the moment. If it's not obvious from me coughing from time to time, but yeah. I guess that's all. I guess that's.
Oh, you spread it to me already.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh, I get this. It's spreading digitally now. The Digimon people were not wrong. Fear of the virus is all digital. Oh, I get this. I remember when someone said that Digimon is basically what you get when you are trying to explain like how the internet works to like the old people. Because like they just started like, okay, so like everything is if you try to explain AI to like old people, right? So like, okay, so this is like something that is supposed to be living and they can be infected by virus. So yeah, that's Digimon. And they can be cured. Although it's kind of I mean like when you play like the older Digimon games, it's also kind of genius that they divided the Digimon into like three types, right? Like data, faction, and virus. And some of like the faction Digimon can evolve into virus Digimon because like it is based on like, because of course there's no thing such as the computer vaccine, but we have the actual vaccine which is made from virus. So it's just to play on that concept that the weaker virus in a vaccine can turn into like actual virus in the end. But yeah, that's basically all that you needed to, the bare minimum that you needed to start playing Bellspirits overseas, I guess. So if you need anything more, then of course you can just let us know.
I am trying my best.
Yeah.
To update the terminology as well. I just made a quick update last night. There are a few more. And then, oh my god, so the page. So I'm listing out a lot. So like the most important part is basically the actions in the game. And then we got some very interesting ones because well to keep people a good level of understanding, when I say actions, I mean stuff like attack, block, add, as in adding cards to hand, activate effects, stuff like that. And then from time to time, you will get some really, really unique ones, which like you will probably never even think about it until I tell you about it. So, well, one of the less unique ones is become a target. 対象になる
Oh my god.
which is used specifically in interruptive effects, activating when a card is being chosen as a target of another effect activation. And then the interesting part is that like in fairly early stage of the game, immunity effects may sometimes be worded as 対象にならない meaning cannot become a target. It's something I found on myself, which is pretty interesting. And then you got change, as in not the keyword, but literally change. Hengen.
Wait. What's that action again?
Hengen, change.
Where did it came up?
So when an effect substitutes the original text of itself or another effect to different text. For example, an effect may originally say destroy a spirit, but then you have something like the bird astral armor Shizzlebird, which changed the effect to destroy a spirit or ultimate. So it's used when you try to change the text of of an effect, basically. Then you got choose. Elabu.
Oh my god.
A very weird term that is used to specify that players needed to make a choice. I actually can't remember where I found it, but I think it's from Tenma Kagemusha. I think is where I found it. And the interesting part is that in the fairly early stage of the games, some red targeting effects, I don't know why red, which use the term to choose as an equivalent to target. But obviously nowadays, game doesn't do that anymore because like they just assume anything that touches the card is
It's targeting
it. Yeah. And then you have oh my god, this is an interesting one. You have decide or occur, which is equal. Because obviously, so this is a really confusing one, which I realized last night. Because equal is a very fake term, which generally means to carry out. And so in the card game, depending on the context, the term can mean different actions. The most common time you will see this word is when an effect is trying to repeat a step or a turn. So if you're trying to start an extra turn, then we said like, 自分の turn you call or something like that. But there are also two other scenarios. Is another one is when the effect activation is relying on the timing of a step or turn. So for example, the Cassiopeia seal, where like it kind of removes a call from itself after each turn, after each of the end steps starts. That's how it's worded. And then you also have the really rare ones, which is when an effect is switching the order of flash timing, like Kamen Rider Zero, or the order of steps happening, like Tranquil Revolution, your favorite card. Ooh. And then the term, but like somehow, the term is also used in reference to effects activation, which is also interpreted as to occur. And the most common you will see is in cross ultimate trigger, because like for some reason, when it comes to ultimate trigger, I don't know why. After you activate ultimate trigger, they will say, then the cross ultimate trigger occurs instead of just saying then activate cross ultimate trigger. I don't know why they did that. They literally did it. They literally call it activate with rush, and then somehow they call it occur with cross ultimate trigger. I don't know why. And then finally, when the term is used in reference to a player action directly, then it is interpreted as to decide, as in allowing the player a certain freedom of decision on a specific action. So the most common you will see here is when an effect forces a brave spirit to separate, and which then it uses the word you call to allow the owner of the brave spirit to decide where they put their calls. So basically, the way the effect worded is like, the core placement, is occurred by the owner of the blade spirit. That's kind of how they word
Okay.
the effect.
Yeah. You see, I've played this game for like how many years now? Almost. Oh my god, it's almost. It's actually 10 years. Oh fuck.
Wow.
And I'm still learning this new stuff with you guys. So yeah, don't worry about like. Yeah, there's so much to learn. It's so overwhelming. It's so intimidating. Now it's fine. I'm already learning this game for like 10 years, and I'm still learning new stuff every day.
There's more. I'll put you into this rabbit hole. I'm not ending it.
Yes. You still have an hour, Ayumu, so you can go all out.
Then we have declare, sengen. Can you remember where you will see this word?
Oh my goodness, I think it's a pizza.
Yes, yep. Pizza is the most common one. Can you remember anything else?
Ooh. Baso sengen. I can't really remember anything on the top of my head, but I feel like the answer is supposed to be like really obvious. Don't know why, but it feels like something close to diva. But I might be biased because the card of the day is also diva. But yeah.
No. Well, the mistake you made is that you thought that only burst activation uses that word.
Oh Jesus!
But you forgot that there's also attacker sengen and blocker sengen.
Oh, the chariot.
The chariot, yeah, the two most common ones.
Yay!
But also very interestingly, this is more on the rules than like the user wording. But so blocker sengen is actually more commonly used in the early days, as basically the early wording of like when this spirit is blocked. So for the timing, instead of writing as when this spirit is blocked, they would call it when the opponent makes a block declaration. So it's actually a little bit more common in the early days. An interesting one of them is the shield spirit. This, you remember her?
Oh yeah, I have the Indonesian version in my folder.
Yeah, but like the most annoying part is it's obviously one of the cards in the first set, and reads on attack when the opponent makes a block declaration, exhausts a spirit besides the blocking spirit. They make a revival version of her. Obviously during the Burning Soul era. And then for some reason, instead of trying to change the wording, they decide to keep when the opponent make a block declaration. It's like, why? Why can't you just say when the spirit is blocked? And then some of you may argue, okay, maybe it activates at a different timing. I double checked the Q&A. No, they activate the same timing. They activate the same timing as when blocks effect activates. So it's like, why, Bandai? Why? Yeah, and then this is an interesting one. So because of one card, I added a lot of random actions in the terminology. So this the first one, which I just translated as determine. Kimeru. Can you guess where this is from?
Kimeru. I feel like it's something that is that forces you to choose between a certain range of number. That doesn't feel familiar. I don't think it rings any bell. Is it something from before the God King era?
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah, then then I don't have any clue.
It's actually from the ground of Lolo,
Oh.
where since it restarts the game, it asks the players to determine the playing order.
Oh. Oh yeah, that card exists. I think like I read that card once and then I didn't think too much about it.
Yeah, and then because of that card, I added 2 more really stupid actions
Mm-mm.
in the list.
Mm-mm.
The second one is Jankenpon.
Okay.
Playing rock, paper, scissors.
Mm-mm.
Because ground or Lolo, because you need to determine the playing order, so you need to play rock, paper, scissors again.
Yes.
And the effect tells you that.
Mm-mm.
So technically, it is in the game. So I was like, you know what? Let's add that in.
I see. Yeah, that checks out.
And then the last one is Seiki.
Mm-mm.
Restart.
Mm-mm. Oh yeah. Now everything
Because
is
the
complete.
literally restarts the game from turn 1.
Mm-mm. Now everything is complete.
Oh, actually no, there's one more. Shuffle.
Okay.
Yeah, because Ground Lolo is the only legal effects that allows the players to shuffle their decks in Battle Spirits.
Oh yeah. Because the other one is illegal to play. Yeah.
Well, no. In terms of legal cards, literally Ground Lolo is the only card
Mm-mm.
that will make you shuffle your deck.
Mm-mm.
All the other cards are either from its extreme games, so only
Yes.
for collection purposes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant by
Yeah,
the other
but
cards being illegal to play.
oh yeah, illegal. I
Yeah.
didn't hear that well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
But then, like the last one, which I really found interesting, is what we call
Mm-mm.
exchange in English.
Mm-mm.
I think the Japanese pronounce as kokan.
Mm-mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
Kokan.
yeah. Can you guess where that's from? Which card has it?
Mm-mm. Ah, the wait, is it not the no, it's a like the machine-based searcher, right? Like the new the white searchers.
No, that is Switch.
Ah,
Which is Haile
yeah,
Kaelu. I think
Irakairo,
that's
yeah,
how you.
Irakairo, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kokan. Is it the on stage?
No,
No, it's a Atakusur Kawarini. Uh, oof, what are records that have Kokan? Oh, yeah, I don't have any clue.
it literally exists on only one card.
Oh my god.
And it's from the Gawking era, the legit nobody uses. It's from
Is it the
it's
fake
literally
God King?
no. It's because no, they're illegal to play, so I don't include.
Ah, okay.
Oh no, the fake Gawking. No, fake Gawk. Everybody uses fake Gawking.
Yeah.
No. It's from literally one card where like no one would use
Mm-mm.
and is in BS 36.
Okay.
And let me try to find the name.
Mm-mm.
It's called the Farmer Bird Hisui.
Mm-mm.
So to explain first, Korkan actually exists in the rulebook
Mm-mm. Okay.
because it's the action of switching the brace between 2 brace spirits.
Okay.
There is only one effect in this entire game which makes you switch the brace as an effect.
Mm-mm. Okay.
And I'm lying. No, because we only have one effect that uses the word Korkan. It's not even switching the brace. It's switching the spirits.
Okay. Go on.
Yeah, so this card has the summon effect of you can brave the spirit to a brave on your field,
Mm-mm.
or this spirit can exchange with a brave spirit.
Okay.
And what it means by exchange, it means like you swap between the spirits. So then Hisui, the spirit that you just summoned, becomes brave to the brave.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I see. I see. Yeah. I'm trying to process it in my head now, but I think I can go on.
So like what it means, so like obviously it's very stupid, but
Mm-mm.
like because what it means is that instead of like just separate and brave again, the most important part is that you cannot move the cores again.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So so that's why they can't just do separate and then brave.
Mm-mm.
Instead they say exchange.
I see.
Because but like yeah, like it was really funny as well because I made a list of like actions that I have to put onto the terminology page
Mm-mm.
a while ago, and I forgot about it.
Yes.
And then so like yesterday I was updating it again, and I was asking like my editor friends like, "Huh, do you remember a word that means exchange?" And they said, "Doesn't mean the keyword." So there's a keyword which we translated as exchange,
Mm-mm.
which is for Impulse Gundam. But
Mm-mm.
anyway, I said, no, it's not the keyword. There's something else. And then we thought for a while. I was like, oh, it's okay. I'll find it out later anyway.
Mm-mm.
And then he said, is it about switching braves? And I was like, shit, yes.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Finally.
are you sure? Are you sure there's even an effect that uses that? And I literally look it up. There's literally one card uses that. And just look at it, just laughed.
Mm. I will
It's
too.
so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love battle spirits.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then like there's also so talking about brace, obviously you have the action of separate, as in separating a brave
Mm-mm.
from like a brave state.
Mm-mm.
So that term is usually used on separating braves,
Mm-mm.
but in exactly one occasion, it's actually being used for another kind of action.
I see.
Yeah, so I mean, this is more like a specific case, so you don't. So I only put it as under some extremely specific cases, effects may also use this term to generally refer to the separation of two cards from a single game entity. And the example that I found is called Night Ibis,
Mm-mm.
which is a spirit that messes with Bunshin spirits.
Mm-mm.
And it has this really unique effect that I had to do a double take when I was reading it. So level 1, 2, and 3 either attacks out when your Bunshin spirit battles, which means attacks or block,
Mm-mm.
by stacking one of your refreshed Bunshin spirits on top of that spirit. During that battle, that Bunshin spirit becomes cost 6 20 KBP and 2 green symbols, and is treated as one Bunshin spirit. When that Bunshin spirit will leave the field or when the battle ends, the Bunshin spirit stack on top is separated in exhaust condition.
That's like there's so much to process there.
And that is the only case that I found that uses Bunli
Mm-mm.
separate that's not about brace.
I see. That is a lot of things to get through my head at that moment. I don't know if I'm ready to press go on.
No, that's kind of it for me.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, that was
But
Well,
I have more to talk about in comprehensive rules. Would you
Yay!
like to hear about it?
Yes, I have read it myself. I've restarted my brain, so she'll be fine now.
Okay, so wait, I'm trying to find the one that I try and remember, but like, okay. Wait, where are you? I can't find it. No.
No.
No. Where are you? I swear to God, I put you somewhere. But like, okay, so basically, there is a difference between oh, I think it's this one. Yeah, so there is a difference between, so you know how like sometimes effects says like something like refill a card from the deck top
Mm-mm.
if it's like the card that you need,
Mm-mm.
add it to hand.
Mm-mm.
Otherwise, send it back to the deck,
Mm-mm.
something like that.
Yep.
But then you also have cards that says like after you refill, remaining cards goes back to the deck.
Mm-mm.
So there are a difference
Okay.
in terms of rules
Mm-mm.
between these two wordings.
Okay.
So remaining cards in the Japanese wording is nokota kado,
Mm-mm.
and then otherwise is sore igai or hoka no kado.
Yeah.
So this is in a very specific situation. When a card cannot be added to hand effect is active. When cards are refilled from the deck and there's a valid target that is supposedly mandatory to add to hand, since it cannot be added to hand, its final destination will depend on how the refill and add effect is worded. So if the refill and add word effect is worded as return any remaining cards to the deck, so this is the nokata kado. So the valid target is supposed to be added to hand will also be included as remaining cards and will be returned to the deck.
Yes.
If it's worded as otherwise, return it to the deck. Because the effect itself is directed at the invalid target, the valid target that's supposedly already added to hand is not included and would be discarded instead.
I see. Yeah, that made sense. That's
It
why
makes sense,
game.
but it's so funny when I found it. I was like, "What the? This is the rule?" Just like,
yeah. I mean, it's a game grammar, right? So yeah, if you read it that way, then it kind of made sense. But if you don't read it to be like that's in the rule book, then yeah, why? What the fuck do you mean? This one goes to trash, and this one doesn't. But
yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
but like that's really the ones I want to talk about. Like I'm pretty sure I probably discovered something really stupid. Oh my god, actually I discovered one yesterday.
Okay.
So which is also related to kind of like the recent incidents. Like how in Extreme League there was a judge. So there was a player trying to use the grand skill of Lekka Yukimura, which sends the card to the void. And that causes the Lekka Yukimura to level down.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So the way the effect goes is that you return a Soul Dragon to your hand. Sosta Toki. Actually, no. Lekka Yukimura is Sonogo, which is then.
Yeah.
Sonogo, you can summon a Soul Dragon or manifest it from hand. But because you level down in the process, the effect is gone. So you cannot summon or manifest the Soul Dragon with the same effect.
Yes.
And the funniest part is that after this, basically after like a week of like turbulence, the official decided that okay, yeah, we will go with that rule. And basically Lekka Yukimura would need 6 cores if you want to fully activate the effect. But the worst of all is that there used to be a Groundwalker, which is Momose Kajitsu, which requires 7 cores. To activate her effect, which means if you want to fully activate her effect, you need 14 cores to do so.
Yep.
And then what's even worse is that you got Ikari Gendo from Evangelion, which has a grand field of like which is a level 2 grand field, which says like well, when condition fulfills, you can send all cores from this nessus to the void. When you've done so, do the following effects. So by that rule, it means Ikari Gendo is literally becomes a blank paper. Because after you send all the calls, you just simply cannot activate the effect. And then so Bandai decided that Ikari Gendo will have a special ruling where it can continue to activate the effect, even if you send all the calls to the void and it contradicts with the rulings.
Beautiful.
But that's not what I found out. So this is actually a really interesting one, which also includes like the stack changes as well. So I was editing the Sostatoki session of the comprehensive ruling. So when you've done so, and I was looking at one of the examples which I put in previously simply because I copy and paste from Japanese wiki and didn't really think much about it. So the example is when Academy Uniform Alice, which has the effect. So basically, Academy Uniform Alice has the effect. It says when your school style family spirits are destroyed, you can return them to your hand. When you've done so, draw a card.
Okay.
So the original example is when Alex returns destroyed spirits to hand. If not all of them can be returned to hand, the draw does not happen because you didn't complete the action. So you cannot draw either. And I put it in extra points, which I only realized yesterday. While it makes sense, if Alice is one of the destroyed targets and returns itself to hand, the draw also does not happen. Do you know why?
Because she's not completely returned to hand.
Nope.
Okay.
I mean that wouldn't make sense, right? That means like the other ones, you cannot draw either way.
Yeah. When you have done so, draw a card. Because she left the destruction state?
Yes!
Oh
nice.
My god.
Yeah, this is because Alice changed from destroy stage to return stage, thus unfulfilling the activation condition of the effect. So it disables the effect, which means you cannot draw.
I see. I see. Oh my god.
Like, it was so funny when I found it out. I was like, oh shit, how did I even figure that out myself? I'm a freaking genius. Oh my god, right? If only Battle Space has a university degree.
Yeah, sometimes we laugh at like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX for like having a school just to teach people how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Right? But like now that we are deeper inside these games, like yeah, I guess like it kind of made sense.
And to be fair, I'll say like a lot, like even like the games which you think are simple, when you go deep into it, like they sometimes can get really confusing. I made an example with Pokemon before, so I'm not going to repeat that. But like, yeah, even stuff like Pokemon, they can get really precise with how things work.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to see that in One Piece as well, because I'm actually learning One Piece right now.
Yeah. Don't know if I can take any example with Vanguard, because I do play both like really simple text. Like the most complicated thing that I play is probably Tachikaze. But yeah, is there anything complicated there? I think like it's mostly just kind of like ordering thing, kind of like so basically if you destroy some things, there are cards that can activate their effects when they are destroyed.
Actually,
kind of thing.
I do have one from Vanguard.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was actually meta changing. So with the Mygo deck.
Okay.
Yeah, so how the old Mygo, actually no, I mean I think the new one still plays the card. Yeah. So the Mygo deck, because like they have to go with the lore. I'm not gonna explain the lore, don't worry.
Yep.
So the what do you call it? I can't remember what's the exact term in Vanguard, but basically the family. of
Oh,
the
yeah.
Mygo cards are, well, Mygo.
Mm-mm.
But because like they were supposedly broken off
Mm-mm.
from a previous band called Crysic.
Mm-mm.
So they have this card which is in the Crysic family called
Mm-mm.
Sakiko.
Yeah.
And you can just hard summon hardcore Sakiko from hand.
Uh-uh.
But if you play any other cards that's not in the Crysic family,
Mm-mm.
so either when you ride or when you just like call something to the rear guard,
Mm-mm.
you will send Sakiko to the soul and then draw one.
Mm-mm.
So here's the interesting part. So at grade 1,
Mm-mm.
you have Anon Chihaya,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
which on play, by counterblasting 1, you can open the top 3 cards of your deck and then play any Mygo character, any Mygo card
Mm-mm.
from there onto your rear guard. So what happens when you already have Sakiko on the field when you play Anon?
Mm-mm.
So the rule goes like this. When you play Anon, if you want to get the maximum value, you activate Anons first,
Mm-mm.
and then play a second Mygo character, well, unit
Mm-mm.
from the deck.
Yep.
What happens is that Sakiko will trigger twice.
Mm-mm.
And then because with Vanguard, it's also just do as much as possible.
Mm-mm.
So what it does is that it repeats the whole effect of send this card to the soul and draw one twice.
Mm-mm.
Which basically means the realistic action is you just send the card to the soul and then you draw 2.
Mm-mm.
So like, and then when people realize that for the first time, they're like, "Oh shit!"
Huh?
So
Why
yeah,
do I feel?
that was one I learned because I have the Mygo deck. But yeah,
Yeah. Why do I feel like I have something similar to that in the past? Don't know. Yeah, my friend figured out something like that.
basically to explain more deeply, you have to activate Unknown first.
Mm-mm.
It's because if you activate Sakiko first, then obviously it's not on the field anymore because it's the soul, so cannot trigger the effect again. So you have to activate Unknown first, while Sakiko is still on the field to actually see both of the callings, and then gets you to draw 2. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I wonder with my...
I love card games.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think we have reached that level. I think like the weirdest thing that my friend did is just... Don't know, he just... Somehow he was able to loop some cards and then like start his opponent's turn with like 25k Vanguard or something. So like...
Sorry?
So basically he uses Angel Feather, right? So like this deck kind of like deals yourself damage, and then every time you take damage, you do something basically. So his Vanguard, the only unique thing about this card is on any player's turn, when a card enters the damage zone, it gets like +2 or +3k. So like somehow he loops his like when his opponent like attacks for the first time, he just uses this card that can, when it is used as a guardian, it swaps card from your hand and your damage zone. And then like for some reason with that one single, with some combo with that one single card, he was able to swap enough cards to basically pump his Vanguard by 10,000 or something.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's so funny.
I mean, I know, right? Like nobody, no one else was able to figure out that card. He's the only crazy guy who was like willing to put any attention to that card, and he is weirdly rewarded for it. Although like for some reason, like if he like joined the tournament by himself, he never was able to like pull like to get to the top table. But like that every time we team up together, like he's the only one with a clean record. So like even if we have like 5 rounds and then we have like 3 to record, he will be like 5-0 or like 4-1. It's like, how the fuck did you do that?
Well, I mean, a lot of the times after you discover this kind of rulings, like people would like just like change their strategy to get around it, because I understand the significance of this, because it means that you cannot just like, for example, swing a rear guard at the Vanguard. Because obviously what will happen is that if he takes a damage, it causes him to trigger all kinds of effects to actually buff the Vanguard so that your Vanguard cannot go past him. So like I can see that is a pretty significant ruling to like kind of understand here, which is like kudos to him.
Yeah.
Oh my god! But like that reminds me, recently I actually found they updated a new ruling for Morrigan.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and it's also like the first time I discovered that. Okay, so this is the really interesting and really stupid thing, which I didn't realize until they actually clarified this time in Morrigan. So with Morrigan, says that like you already have 7 counters, so you can activate the contract field. If you when you activate the contract skill and you bounce and you choose a spirit to bounce and choose a spirit to summon, if you pull all the costs from the bounce spirit for the summoning cost, you cannot activate the contract field. Because when you do that, you're changing it from the bounce state to depletion state. But because contract field requires you to return a spirit to hand, you cannot trigger the contract field.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I was so confused at first. About wait, but the spirit still goes back to hand, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so it still goes back to hand, but the game state would treat it as a depletion state. Like when all the effects are resolved. Yeah. But it still goes back to hand.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? Where?
Yeah, I mean, like, isn't like bounce state isn't it like the highest? Like, it cannot be meddled whatsoever, right?
It's more. I mean, to be fair, it's more like a. I would say it's more like a. It's like it's a bit complicated. It's like a layer over layer kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, so because like obviously, so the simplest removal effect is destruction. You know, when you destroy a spirit, you know, you don't actually move the card. So, you know, the card is still on the field, you still have the cost on it. Which is probably why in the first place, you know, they still allow effects to target it because, you know, well, the physical cards and the cost are still on it, so, you know, might as well.
Yeah.
But you know, the problem comes when depletion is a thing. Or well, back then they call it destruction at level 0. But because obviously with depletion, the one thing that's different is that the costs are gone. You know, well, at least before they introduce increased level costs, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, so the costs are gone. So like that means like, you know, technically it cannot remain on the field. And so it's like basically, well, I mean, obviously, these are just my accusations, but like, you know, basically, the official probably decided that, like, okay, yeah, because the costs are gone, it's not like a complete spirit, you know, or whatever card you're playing.
Yep.
Because, you know, it contradicts with the ruling of like summoning a card, right? Because like to complete a summoning process, you need to have the maintenance cost on it as well. So, you know, in reverse, if you remove all the costs, then it would basically deny the state of the card being on the field. So like it makes sense that like when it becomes depletion, you're not allowed to target it because, you know, technically it's already an invalid entity on the field. And then so finally we got bouncing, return to hand, whatever. And this is like originally, you know, you know, originally they decided that like, you know what, cards would like goes back to hand immediately and stuff like that. But like, you know, they realized this also complicated a lot of rulings, so they might as well make standby state. But like that creates a new problem for, well, what I just call it the bounce state. Like in Japanese they call it something like motota jotai or something like that. But yeah, in bounce state, because obviously the thing is like, if you so the way it works is that when you're returning something to somewhere, the problem is that the effect has also specified where are you returning the card.
Mm-mm.
You know, it always had, which is different to destruction, right? Because like
Yep.
destruction doesn't destroy it.
Mm-mm.
The game rule tells you that it goes to the trash,
Mm-mm.
but when you're only destroying a spirit, you know, the effect doesn't tell you where to go.
Mm-mm.
But you know, it's different with, you know, returning stuff, right? Because
Yeah.
it has to tell you where you're returning the card.
Mm-mm.
So the whole process of returning a card, you know, has to include the destination that is going back.
Mm-mm.
And so, but then obviously the problem is that when you're returning something, the cores are still on it because you don't touch the cores. And so like, that creates a problem where like, which creates like a sex scenario where like you can still use the cores on it for like maintenance costs and stuff like that.
Mm-mm.
Because you're moving the cost as part of the game rule, not part of the effects.
Mm-mm.
You know, so like it makes sense that like the bounce state can be affected by any effects
Mm-mm.
because you know, well technically they are kind of like, you know, like due to the original game rule. I mean, to be fair, a lot of times it's like bad guys just messing things up because like you gotta remember like in the original game, you know, returning to hand means they off the field immediately. So
Mm-mm.
in the first place, you shouldn't be able to target them.
Mm-mm.
So they retain the same ruling, you know, even after standby state
Mm-mm.
is introduced, which you know what, fair enough, makes sense. I just wish they would be more consistent with destruction as well. But hey ho, here we are.
Mm-mm.
So like, but then you can still move the course because you're moving the course because of the game rules and not the effects.
Mm-mm.
So you can still affect them.
Yeah.
But then like obviously when you do that, what happens is that okay, now it becomes in depletion state. I mean obviously you can just argue, well, why would you allow it to become depletion state in the first place?
Mm-mm.
But then you also have to remember that like this is a game where like a lot of interruptions can happen.
Mm-mm.
You know, destruction can change the depletion, you know, it can suddenly change the balance, you know, like etc. Stuff like that. You can like remain on the field, you know, you can change the destination of where they go, you know, and these all happened while the card is, well, quote unquote, being removed.
Mm-mm.
And so like if anything, it would make less sense to not change the state.
Mm-mm.
You know, because like supposedly the game would change the state.
Mm-mm.
And so that's why like they said, okay, yeah, if you remove it, then like if you remove the cause, it changes the depletion state. But like then it still goes back to the hand because supposedly by the game system, it should already be in hand.
Mm-mm.
You know, so how the game looks is that it should already be in hand.
Mm-mm.
And so like even if it's changed to depletion state, it still goes back to the hand as the effect instructed. You know, that's one important thing as well.
Mm-mm.
You are moving the course because of the game rules, and yeah, sure, you are changing the state, but changing the state doesn't deny what the effect is telling you to do, which is returning the card to hand.
Mm-mm.
So the way you can think about it is it's like a special situation of depletion where after you deplete the spirit, instead of going to the trash, you know, it goes back to hand, you know, etc. Stuff like that.
Oof.
Thumbs up.
Yeah. I think my stomach was taking it very badly just now. That was a very hard, very long ruling to digest. But bottom line now, basically, if I pull all the cards, then I cannot do the fix to 3 symbols, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like recently they actually made a lot of like interesting rule updates and like so like the other one which they made an update and it caused a minor uproar on Twitter as well is you know, like the Force Fighter Temple for Takeru.
Yeah.
So it says so the fact goes along the line of something like while your hand is 5 or less, your hand is unaffected by opposing effects.
Mm-mm.
Also, when you draw, the opponent cannot activate any draw or hand increase effects.
Mm-mm.
Any effects that trigger upon you drawing or increasing your hand.
Yeah.
So the way it was like because it's used the silent E wording, which which follows the condition at the beginning as well.
Yeah.
So if your hand is more than 5, obviously you don't get the hand protection, but then you also cannot deny the opponents from triggering the effects because it follows the same condition. So that's kind of fine and dandy. Some people complain about it, but it's more so because they didn't read the previous rules. I mean, yeah, it's still pretty dumb, but it's Battlespin, it's a Bandai.
Yeah.
They do whatever they want.
Yep.
But the more interesting one is define dance draw. We said something along the line where you draw 3 cards, they refill 3 from your hand, send 2 back to the bottom deck, and then return the remaining card to your hand.
Oh yeah.
So here's the interesting part. When you return that remaining card to your hand, you're adding a card that is not drawing. So if you use the Fine Dance draw, the opponent can still trigger their own effects, basically. Obviously, if your hand is still 5 or less, to be fair, you use 6 or more, then your effect won't activate anyway. If your hand is still 5 or less, then obviously you don't have to be afraid of the volcano and stuff like that.
Yep.
But like, the players' complaint is because in the extreme games there was a Takeru mirror, and basically, the official side used the Define Dance draw, and then told the challenger that they couldn't activate the Roomba Mirage effect.
Yeah.
To follow one draw. But technically they could have. Because obviously, when they return the card from the refill state to hand, it's increasing a card in hand without drawing. So they could have drawn that extra card, which, obviously could have been major. I didn't watch the extreme game, but I also assumed that it was like a pretty bad problem because probably the challenger lost. But like, yeah.
Yeah. The last Yamato mirror I saw is not won by the challenger, that's for sure.
Yeah, so yeah, a lot of interesting rules.
Yeah.
Pretty annoying. Oh my god, and also here's one more, right? So along the same line, so I was studying this because Eno was actually asking me the interaction. And then he also asked me, okay, so can burst activate, when your hand increase? And then the answer is yes, you can.
Yes.
Because the burst condition isn't part of the, the trigger text of like, the condition in effect test and stuff like that. But do you know why?
Because it's treated as part of game mechanic or something. At least that's what I keep it in my head, because that's how I kind of like separate them in my head.
Alright, okay.
Yeah.
So let me put it this way then.
Okay.
So imagine you try to activate Immortal cost 6 or more.
Yep.
Do you think the cost 6 or more part is part of the keyword or part of the effect?
It's part of both.
It's part of the keyword.
Okay.
So that's the same with burst.
Okay.
It's part of the keyword and not part of the effect.
I see.
Yeah, but like because with burst, the unique part is that their condition is so goddamn long, which is like a full-length sentence. That you think it look different.
Yeah.
But then when you think about it, it's actually no difference to something like Digivolve, red or blue, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's within the same box. It's within the same keyword box. So it's part of the keyword and it's not part of the effect text.
I see.
Yeah, this is also something that I've only figured out 2 days ago. Yes, I used to thought the same as you. Like, yeah, maybe it's just part of the rules, but like, well, it's still part of the rules, but it's actually more of the general rules, but like, we just didn't see it that way.
Yeah.
I suppose like the easier way to think about it is like, say, grand skill 2, something like that. The 2 is still part of the keyword. It's not in the effect text. Especially since, it's on the same line. It's like the level and the timings and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay. Now it kinda all come together.
Yeah.
It is part of the rule, but like a specific part of the rule.
Yeah, it's more like a general part of the rule, not really burst being special.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's big. I see. Yeah. Oh my goodness. My meal after this will be exquisite because this is all like consuming all the brain power that I have left. Yeah.
I'm actually surprised. I'm actually surprised you didn't get it immediately, because I was explaining to Fisher,
Mm-hmm.
and he got him, and he understood immediately. So basically, what the funniest scenario is that Eno was asking in like a group chat, but then I was slipping my noodles. I literally couldn't type. So I just explained the whole thing to Fisher, and then he managed to type everything to Enoch. Like,
Ooh.
nice.
Oh.
Nice. You understood. Do you understand?
Nice. Yeah, because I never really, I think like because my thought process never really thought keywords are something that is quote unquote special in the eyes of the rule. Because of course like it is different when you are like specifying like certain kind of role, which is why like when an effect simply says that your opponent must block if able, and then there's a clash, it is treated differently. But yeah, it never really registered to me that the burst condition is also a part of like the burst keyword, because like I think like it's more like I never see like the burst text itself as kind of like a keyword. Yeah, that's probably why. It's just like it's kind of like this is an effect, but I never identify, because like maybe because it's fancy boxes, so like not just burst like advent manifest, I don't really see that as a keyword. But yeah, now that you mention it, everything is just a keyword with fancy flowers around them, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now everything is simmering down. So yeah, do you have any more interesting stuff that you want to share, Ayumu? Or do you want to release me from my suffering?
You may go, my child.
Oh no. Alright. I guess now as Ayumu have instructed, I will now go into consumption mode and nourish my brain so that I can after the recording is done and in private he can feed me more fuck up rollings. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, or requests, do feel free to send it to us at therefreshsteppodcast@gmail.com, or if you're listening to this on YouTube, of course feel free to always send or feel free to always comment down below. I even already forget what you call the comments on YouTube. Yeah, so yeah, the comments. But yeah, I guess that has been your first episode of the season 2 of the Refresh Step. We have taken a long 8 days break. That's why we are still adjusting back to our old workflow. No, just kidding. This is just how we are, and probably how we will do things until we eventually get to understand it, because we are taking our baby steps. Yay. Because that's the only thing that is that is the only thing remaining from us that is anything remotely resembling the baby steps. But yeah, I guess now that I needed to take my medicine and Ayumu needed to do his thing, I guess that has been everything that we can share for this week. We hope that you guys have a nice week going forward, and we'll see you all in the next thing. Bye bye.
Bye.
Yeah, now I just noticed why is it harder for me to do my intro than my outro? What does that
You are
imply?
very eager to end the podcast.
No.